On SABC3 with us. Emmy Award-winning American TV personality Zuri Hall was in Cape Town this past weekend for the Masters Polo, which was one of the biggest social events on the 2017 calendar. She hosts her own popular YouTube channel, Hey Zuri Hall, and she spearheads the women's empowerment movement called Alpha Babes. All of this while being a news correspondent for some of the USA's best-loved entertainment news channels. Welcome to The Loft. You're a busy woman.
Yes, yes. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to be here.
Absolutely.
So you were at the Masters Polo this weekend. What was that like?
Oh my God, it was so much fun. I'm a correspondent for E! News, and E! Entertainment was the television partner. So we were working the red carpet, and I got to cover that and talk to so many amazing South African celebrities, influencers, you know, socialites. It was a really cool experience for me.
And I'm sure everyone at home is like wondering, because this is a question that's always on South Africans' lips, what was different about being here, or in comparison to the US and the red carpet there and the whole celebrity scene over there?
Honestly, what's so cool is that it's very similar. It's, you know, it's not as different as someone might expect. Different names, maybe different talent. But the glamour's there, the luxury's there, the fashion is there. I will say the fashion is much brighter and bolder and bigger here, which I love. So people take some really beautiful risks, and I saw those on the carpet. It was cool.
Awesome. We're going to chat a little bit about that later and see what people were wearing. So you responded to a TV ad, they were looking for a newsreader. And you went to the audition. Do you remember what your first audition was like?
I was very nervous. I was a college student. I was at university. I didn't know what I was going to do. I needed a job. So I just started looking online, and I saw this posting. So I drove about 3.5 hours away to this local TV station in Indiana, in just middle America. Not much going on there. And I auditioned, and I wasn't quite sure sort of like what a host job was. It wasn't anything I'd ever thought about as a career. And they asked me about my life and my personality, what celebrity I'd want to be for a day. I think I said Zoe Saldana. I don't know.
Everyone would want to be Zoe Saldana, right?
You know, she's stunning. She's perfect. And yeah, I had nerves. I had jitters. There were about 200 or 300 other people auditioning. So when I walked out, I was like, there's no way. I mean, and everyone was beautiful, and they seemed so smart and just big personalities. And then a few days later, I got a call from the head of their creative department, and he said, you're in the top 10, and then I was in the top 5. Very similar to The Search, which is a show we have on E! Also, sort of looking for their next host, and then I won the position.
Wow. And then you went on to be a weather girl, and then you went on to do sports. How did those experiences influence your growth as a host?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely made me feel more confident speaking about anything.
What did you say about the weather? Just give me an example.
Like, it's going to be hot. It's going to be real hot today. Luckily, it was when I was in Dallas, Texas, so it was just sunny and 80 degrees Fahrenheit every day. So that was it. I worked the weather wall. I have my little, you know, green screen, and I point, and I knew generally what I was talking about. You know, I was just getting up there and saying anything. But it was an experience for sure.
And I mean, like any climb, any rise, it doesn't just happen in one foul sweep or in one shoot. You don't just shoot like a shooting star. At some point, you face challenges, and you got a big sign that affirmed that this was where you were supposed to be. Tell us about that big sign.
Oh, early on in my career, I feel like God is continually giving me signs all the time, because I definitely still have my moments where I'm like, what am I doing with my life? And something happens that proves to me that this is what I should be doing. Earlier on, though, I was about a year into hosting, and I was into it. I thought it was fun, but I wasn't sure if this is what I should be doing or not. And then randomly, you know, my peers told me about the Emmys and that you could be considered if you were willing to submit yourself. But it costs money to be submitted, because they don't just want anyone submitted. You know, basically you have to prove your worth and put your money up. And so my company they only have a certain budget, right? So I decided to put the money up to have myself considered, because I wasn't in the budget for them to, you know, submit me. And it paid off. I got the nomination. So I was nominated for an Emmy. I didn't think I was going to win, but I, you know, went to the ceremony, and they called my name, and it was, honestly, it was just one of those amazing life moments. And that was the moment when I was like, okay, you know what, I can do this. It wasn't just me anymore. It was all of these amazing hosts and presenters and newscasters that I respected saying that they respected me too.
Wow, that's incredible. And like in any job that you love, you have to grow in it, and you're continuously growing.
Yeah.
What is it about being a host that you attribute to your growth to?
What is it about being
Because
a
it's not,
host?
I guess it's not something you just nail and then you just stay in that place forever, you know. So what makes you better all the time?
Yeah, the people around me, the people that I'm talking to, the people I'm interviewing. Every single conversation is a challenge in some way. I mean, you know, as a presenter,
absolutely.
It's like, oh my gosh, who's sitting
just
on my
never
couch
arrive.
today? Yeah, you just never know. And so it forces you to, you know, bring your A game and always be prepared and research. And especially now that I'm in Hollywood, you meet some big personalities, big stars, but that means big personalities. So that's the challenge and that's the fun of it.
Yeah. You're also passionate about women empowerment. Tell us about Alpha Babes.
So Alpha Babe is really my movement to encourage people to combine glamour with the grind. So to me, the grind is the hustle, the effort, the work that you put in for whatever your passion is. Yes. And I've always had a very strong work ethic. So from a very young age, my ambition sort of conquered all, and I only worked. And then I sort of started to getting into beauty and style. And in this day and age, it's very much about visuals, right? It's what you look like, what you're wearing. And I think all of that is fun and it's exciting. But there's something else that's very important, and I want young girls especially to feel like wanting to work hard, wanting to set goals is a cool thing to do. That's a sexy thing to do, and that you can do both. You can be beautiful, you can be stylish, and you can also be hardworking, and you can hustle.
Purposeful and mindful.
Exactly. So it's really just about glamorizing the grind.
Yeah. Who's the most, which was your most nerve-wracking interview, or your most embarrassing even?
Oh, goodness. The most nerve-wracking, I would say, Denzel Washington, because I adore him.
Yeah.
And I was just so nervous for like the days leading up to the interview. I prepared, I studied over and over and over. And then I'm sitting in the hall waiting for my interview and someone punches me on the shoulder, friendly. And I'm like, who is this? Oh my God. Denzel. He doesn't know me, but he just came up and introduced himself, asked where I was from. And then a little bit later, we did the interview, and it was so easy and so nice. Oprah is just the queen. I love her so much. So when I got to interview her on the carpet, that was a special moment.
What was that interview like?
Oh, it was fast because it was, boom.
Look at that.
Yes,
we found it.
She was on a red carpet. That was for Queen Sugar, a show she was producing on her network.
Yeah.
And so it was very quick. Red carpet interviews happen like within minutes. So I only had a few minutes with her. And then at the end, I asked her what her guilty pleasure was. And she said hot Cheetos, which is my favorite guilty pleasure. So we sort of like geeked out together over our shared love of hot Cheetos. So that was a fun moment.
What does the future hold for Zuri Hall? What are you looking forward to?
I am looking forward to more of this, coming to see beautiful cities, beautiful countries, experiencing new people, new cultures. And the beautiful part about my job is E-Entertainment has really allowed me to do that. They've sent me to some awesome spots. I just wrapped my second award season. I covered the Oscars just a week ago.
That's lovely.
So just more of this. I'm always thinking about the next thing. I want to just be in this moment and soak it up.
Speaking of the Oscars, did you witness that moment live, the Mistake Award?
Yes, our jaws were on the floor. I had to interview everyone after. They came to the party I was, working, and they were all trembling from just how traumatic it was.
Everyone was quite gracious about it, though.
So gracious.
Yes, absolutely. So we asked our viewers who slays on the red carpet for them in South Africa. Anyone that you noted that stood out for you so far?
Oh my gosh, so many people. I know Boiti said a couple of them earlier. I was also going to say Boiti because can we talk about the head-to-toe beige that she wore with that wide-brimmed hat?
Oh, she looked gorgeous. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Also Namzamo. It was so cool. We rode in the helicopter together and landed at Valdivia State. And I loved her skirt, sort of big and bold and beautiful. Bonang obviously kills it every single time. So I loved her in the purple. And then also Carol Bauer. She actually won Best Dress.
She did. Her dress was gorgeous.
So nice, so
and
pretty.
it tied in with the theme.
Yes.
So specifically as well. Thank you so much for sending us your comments. Qotrega says, my Xhosa princess Tulisile Pongolo always slays. I love her. Nolwazi says, for me, it's Kanyimbao, Nomzamo Mbata, Boititulo, and Modang Mateba. And Tembisile says, Amanda Dupont does it for me. She's so sexy and always slays the carpet, whether it's the red or black. And Noktula says, tell Boiti that I love her so much.
Boiti, she loves you.
Zuri, you're not going away. We're going to chat a little bit later about fashion on the red carpet. Let's head over to the kitchen with Danilo.
Not only do we chat to Zuri after the break, also we know behind every strong man is a beautiful woman, and a strong woman. Behind every strong woman's also a strong man as well. We're going to be joining you on the couch a bit later on. So it's good to have Metin Kopia join us on Afternoon Express after this.
It's amazing how inspiration can transform just a few simple ingredients into something completely new and utterly delicious to enjoy. Salati, inspired by nature.
Ella sale fotografía.
¡Ah! ¿Tiene fotografía?